Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing good. I want to do this video that I've been promising, threatening, or so for the last couple of weeks now at least. It's specifically about the Opendoor contract, the Opendoor offer, whatever, and how that compares to a normal offer or a normal contract going through the traditional selling method. Um, I have a real life case study from earlier this year. This is my client. We successfully closed a couple of months ago. Before we did that, they were in quite a bind. They had to sell, fast, and their home had some challenges. It needed some updating for sure, some repair work. Uh, I would say they fall right in the sweet spot of the type of people that Opendoor sort of prey on and sell them the world. They think that their house just won't sell at all. It's pointless to even try. They'll come in, they'll give you an offer that they make you think is great. It's not. All because of what they're saying about your home and how nobody could possibly want it in this market. So, luckily, I was able to stop them from making a huge mistake. And they brought me in and we looked at things. I told them what I think we should do as far as pricing and marketing strategy. They didn't do a thing to the house. This is just all based on what I did for them to get them positioned right with price and whatnot. So, I'll show you the Opendoor offer first, and then I will show you the successful completed closing statement, the actual numbers at the closing attorney that we had that they had and walked away from, and you can see how the two deals compare. And I'll also say this is an extreme example. Their house was, like I said to start, somewhat challenging, somewhat difficult. So this would be the worst case scenario, the difference between traditional and something like Opendoor or OfferPad or Knock or all the iBuyer stuff out there right now. So keep in mind, the number is huge. The number is normally even bigger than this, though, and you'll see. All right, so what we start off with, this is a purchase and sale agreement, and I've done my best here to black out all of the personal information to keep everything anonymous. If you can see right here, the proposed purchase price, where is that? Right there, $216,500. Okay, so that's your baseline price. That's your top price, $216,500 right there. Now, if it was an all cash, no other things needed to come out, offer at $216,500, then that would have been a pretty solid deal for them, and I would have even advised that they had taken it. That's not how Opendoor works. You see, Opendoor comes out, and after they sell you all of this junk about how your house needs, does not meet the current market standards and all this sort of thing, and how they sell you on convenience and a quick sell so that you'll basically give away the farm and all the equity that you've built up over 5, 10, 20 years. They give you that offer, which starts out as a lowball offer anyway, and I'll show you why in just a second based on the purchase price that we got. So $216,500. But after that, when you read the contract, and it's taken me a minute to flip through here because their contracts are extensive. They are very long. Here we go. We get to their own special contract form. Everything else was just all the addendums. That's the normal stuff you might see. This is one that they write themselves. It is called the Opendoor Addendum. Right. That doesn't sound ominous at all, does it? And right here, number one, see if I can't get this to the camera here. Right there. Seller agrees to credit buyer being Opendoor, the following at closing for the Opendoor service charge. Let me see if I can get that in there. Can you see that? Maybe not. $15,155. $15,155. You know what that is? That's basically a top line, full service, old fashioned commission of 7%. So not only are you having to pay what the listing equivalent would be of a commission, you're also having to pay them what the buyer commission would be, the total commission, which in most cases never exceeds about 6 to 6.5%, and that's full service. I list full service at 6%. That's split 3% and 3%, 3 to my brokerage, 3% to the buyer's brokerage. If there's no buyer brokerage and I don't have to split that with anyone, well then my commission comes from 6% down to 3.12. So it almost has it. But no, buyer or not, buyer agent or not, you're paying Opendoor a full whopping 7%. 7% off of the number that was already low in the first place, the $216,500 purchase price. But it gets even better, because after that, they come out and they do what they call the Opendoor value assessment. Well, in that assessment, they go through, this one happens to be 8 pages long. They come through and they tell you how they're going to have to adjust the price of the house even further upon closer examination. You see, the $216,500 was what they estimated they were going to pay for the house, right? And the $15,000 and some odd dollar charge in this case wasn't having to do with the property. That was just their service charge. That was them paying themselves to buy your house. Well, you paying them to buy your house. Now, in this value assessment, the number that we get after they look at everything involved is, you see that? $7,284 extra to come off or to come out of the deal. So after you take the $216,000 500 purchase price, the $15,155 service charge off of that, you are left with a net walkaway of roughly $194,000. $194,000 off of a $216,500 closing or purchase price. Okay, now let's look at the actual numbers from the deal that we closed. Purchase price of the property. And I have to be careful here because this isn't blotted out for personal information. $228,900. Okay, same house, nothing else had been done from when Opendoor saw it. All things being equal, $229,000 essentially versus $216,000. That's $12,000 and some odd $100 difference. Okay, that's just right off the top. So that's $12,000 right there, difference purchase price. Same house, same market. Opendoor undercutting what fair market value is, me getting full fair market value for them. Okay, so let's look at what else could come out of this traditional closing. Well, of course, the selling commissions. There was another agent involved with this. The buyers had an agent, so there was the co-broker fee. Our real estate commission on this one, I believe, was right at 6%, split 50-50. The total commission on that was $14,008.68. So you see, even with the full, the absolute top amount, full commission for my services is still well over $1,000 less than Opendoor's service charge. And they didn't do anything. They didn't spend time marketing the property. They didn't bring another buyer in. They didn't organize any sort of inspections on behalf of the buyer or anything. They did nothing to earn that money. They just want you to pay them. They just want you to pay them. So that's the commission. The only other thing that came out of this deal besides that commission was the sellers did pay some of the closing costs for the buyer. They paid $6,800 in closing costs. It's called a seller credit on the settlement statement, but it's basically what you hear and have referred to as closing costs. So $6,800. Now here's the thing. That's pretty typical. Some less, some more. That's a little bit on the high side of typical, but it's pretty typical. Okay, so the seller paying that much in closing costs and the full service commission, because remember, it was a full service listing that I took on and I had to pay the buyer's agent that came along. So full service commission and that $6,800 in seller closing costs. Still, the difference between that and Opendoor was right there. $14,030.87. This is what they walked away with net under our deal that I got them, and Opendoor's number was $194,000. So the difference between $208,000 and $194,000, they made $14,030.87 more just selling the traditional way. Now keep in mind, they didn't do anything extra to the house. They didn't do any remodels between the time that Opendoor saw it and I saw it. This was the exact same house, exact same situation. I just came in, priced it appropriately, marketed it appropriately, and we got it sold. And we got it sold. Here's another thing too. People will, talk about Opendoor. They talk about it themselves, OfferPad and all that. They'll talk about quick, how fast they are, and they are fast. It's almost always within 14 to 21 days. But from the time that we went to market, from the time that we closed, was about 35 days. So really only about 2 weeks longer than Opendoor or OfferPad or any of those buyer companies could have done. And for me, and I know everybody's situation is different, but I think the vast majority of people would be willing to take an extra 2 or 3 weeks to close on the house if it meant putting $14,000 more in their pocket. So that's just what I wanted to do. Like I said, I've been talking about it a long time. You guys see me all the time talk about Opendoor, iBuyer, and all these companies and how it's pretty much a scam for the vast majority of people who do it because they're being sold a package of goods. It's just not true. For a small amount of people, it is good to do. There are some properties, I guess, that are in a very small fringe that could have difficulty selling. There are some people who are so desperate to get out in like 14 to 21 days. Every day does matter, and they really can't wait an extra 2, 3, 4 weeks to sell, even if it would mean $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 more in their pocket. I get all that. But again, those numbers are very, very small. That fraction is tiny. And chances are, if you are watching this video and you're hearing me now, you are in the 99.5% that Opendoor, OfferPad, Knock, all these companies would just not be the best solution for you. They just would not be the best solution for you. So that's it. Wanted to break it down, an actual case study with actual numbers that I actually went through 2 months ago so that you could see it. And as always, if you have any questions at all, if you have any real estate need whatsoever, selling, buying, just having a conversation about what the options are in any kind of way, please let me know anytime. Call me, text me. My cell phone number, as always, will be in the video, my email address as well. And I look forward to having some more content for you guys soon. Thanks a lot.